Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the BBC Micro Model B, a machine I never had because it was mainly sold in the UK. And we here in Germany, we had the C64, which was the main machine, and then maybe the Amstrad CPC. And I bought this off of eBay for around 200 euros. And it comes with a slew of stuff like a coProcessor and RGB to HDMI and all that. So let's take a look and let's see what that machine can actually do. And it's a pretty interesting machine, so enjoy. This video is kindly sponsored by PCBWay. Thank you, PCBWay. A package came in, and this one is from Dublin in Ireland. It took a while to get here, and not sure if it's reasonably packaged, but we will take a look now. So here is said package, and this should have a machine inside that I was looking for a long time, because it kick-started the British home computer, or home micros as they call them, scene. So there's the packaging material, lots of them. There really is a lot of packaging, that's very good, because this package had quite the way to travel. Okay, first up we have a mini HDMI to HDMI cable, and a thick one that is. We have this right here, a Raspberry Pi, and it says Retro Clinic on here. And we're getting into what that is, but you can already read it here. Raspberry Pi coProcessor. That's interesting. We have what appears to be the power cable stuff. Let's check this here first. So this is an RGB to HDMI, and this is pretty much the OG. So this was made for this machine, the Raspberry Pi, the RGB to HDMI that is. Oh, it's the plug, which we can't use, which is not a problem. We will just change it. And that brings us to the main attraction. Let's just hope it's not broken. Oh, and it's upside down. It is a BBC Micro, and it comes with a Gotek drive, which is just taped to the bottom. Interesting design choice. Let's just take this off here. And it's a model, but it's in really nice condition. Not sure what's with the keys, because they're pretty sticky. And that wasn't addressed in the description. And they are binding a lot. Space doesn't even come up. So we will take a closer look at this machine right now. So before we go and switch it on, let's turn it around, open it up, and take a look inside, because there's something stuck in there. So you can see this little silvery thing. I don't want to risk killing the machine. So we have all these cables here, and this machine is in almost immaculate condition, which is great. Let's maybe take a look at the ports first. So we have, it's the wrong way around. We have UHF out, which is standard television. We have video out, which could be composite, I think it is. Composite PAL, or PAL composite, that is. RGB, which is very interesting and which was necessary, so that the BBC could actually record the screen for their computer programming program. RS423, cassette, analog in, not sure what that does. Ethernet port, which is not even punched here. and that is the proprietary network connection type thing, which I assume never took off. And we have nothing on this side, and we have nothing on this side, but we have stuff on the underside. That is very interesting because it's already plugged. The Gotek is already plugged in there, and it's stuck between the keys. And we have an external power connector, which is really nice, +5, +12, -5. We have the Gotek connected to this port here, which is disk drive. We have a printer drive, we have a user port, we have a 1 MHz bus and a tube port. We have no serial number, don't know why. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And the power cord, which I need an adapter for. So let's try to open this up. We have to remove those 2 screws, if I'm not mistaken. As I said, this machine looks absolutely immaculate. Okay, got this. I think I need to remove these 2 here. Yeah, that's is it the same? No, it's not the same. So these shorter ones go in the front, and these longer ones go in the back. Remember that for me later, okay? Because I sure as hell will have forgotten about it. Let's see if we can, yeah, we can just pull this. Okay. There's the inside, made by operator number 1170. You can see that all these things are still in place. Nice, let's put that to the side. And we have this right here, which has moved. And that is a micro SD card reader, which is soldered to the board. It was stuck on here, it has moved since. We have a Retro Clinic disk IF, whatever that the F means. We have our keyboard. This is very clean. I assume it was cleaned because the keys are very stuck on here. But these keys are horrible, and I always hear that these keys should be so very nice. But I did pull one, let me show you. And I discovered that these are not the standard keys, but stack poles, which I hate from the bottom of my heart, since I had to build my own keyboard for the Atari 800. Keys seem to be perfectly fine, but still they bind on some occasions, especially here on the A and S and D, and that is, as you can see, not a great key. Yeah, not sure about that. Not sure if the PSU has been serviced. There are reefers in there, and you don't want these to go up in flames because they stink extremely. I will have to write or ask the seller about that. Other than that, and that we have this micro SD card adapter in here, which is nice. Not sure where that cable goes to, because it goes somewhere, but I can't see where. Yeah, I think we have to remove the keyboard to get a better look at the whole shebang here. Board looks nice and clean. This section here, this networking section is not populated, which is expected. We have some ROM ports or ROM slots under the keyboard here, so we have to remove the keyboard to see these. Not sure who put in the screws that like that. I think these are the wrong way around, but I'm not sure. It looks nicer from the outside, of course. That should give us the keyboard. And it does. If we flip this around, we can see, okay, this is not connected. This has a cable on the outside, This is seemingly just an SD card adapter without any function. So we got a few ROMs here, and these two seem to be the standard Acorn ROMs, and here's one which says DFS, which is the disk file system, which we need to actually access the hard drive, or the floppy drive, that is. We have two empty ROM slots. Not sure how to access these ROM slots if you put ROMs in here. I think we can make these keys a bit better. I already tried on the F0 key and on the cursor keys, and they are a little bit better. I think we can at least improve the space key a lot by just using the silicone grease on these parts that rub plastic on plastic, because this is not just stuck. That's not good. What do we have here? By the way, this is the interesting way that the power supply is connected to this over these cables here. And they all have the same color, so I hope they all have the same voltages, which I doubt. Oh, this is a June 26th, 1984 board, by the way. Can't see where the revision is. Does it have a revision? Oh, it's an issue 7. Okay. So it's one of the latest boards. And we have this right here, which I assume is kind of a disk controller. Okay, let me grab a plastic bag to put this in, put the keyboard back in, and then we try this machine out. Let's quickly take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. PCBWay offers PCB production and assembly, as well as 3D printing, CNC manufacturing, and much, much more. I use PCBWay myself to produce PCBs, to get assembled PCBs like the Pi 15413, and I also use the 3D printing service on my Amiga box project, and I was very, very pleased with the results. So if you have anything you need in terms of PCBs or 3D printing, just give PCBWay a chance. Again, thank you PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Just to make sure that we don't release the magic smoke, I just checked the power supply and it's all good. The refar has been, or refars have been replaced. That's awesome. So I can just switch it on, and the adapter arrived. So I did put that on here. It's just converter or converter plug, really, because it's the same voltage. So you can just plug it in. European plug. So let's put the PSU back in and the wires back in, because I removed these, took photos, thankfully. And yeah, then we can switch it on. Okay, everything is set up. Have the RGB to HDMI plugged into the machine, into my capture. Have the power cord here for this. I will just use my USB power thingy here to start it up, and we get a green light, which is, I think, good. It's blinking, whatever that means. I think it's reading from the SD card. I hope power is sufficient here. Plug the machine in, and let's see if it actually works. There we go. Bad program. BBC computer, 32K, Acorn 77 DFS basic. Why is it 32K? Shouldn't it be 64? I know this is a Model B and it should be 32K, but still, let's do star cat. Do we get anything? No, we don't. So let's... okay, there doesn't seem to be a disk in here. Not sure how this works. So these seem to be folders rather than disks. So let's go into the 58 games disk. And there are beep disk. Beep being the name for the BBC Micro. And let's use beep disk 1. And that's in. Ah, okay, now the directory. Okay, so how do we load stuff then? Just by typing load. Mistake. That's okay, that's bad already. So I never used a BBC Micro in my life. And you can't just insert. Ah, there's a del key here. Let's do that. Okay, load. And let's load. Wait, there's a menu. I read something about a menu that if you push, I think it was Shift and Break or something. Shift Escape. Let's try Shift Escape. No, that's not. Ah, Shift Break. Ah. Haha. Who's the pro here? Who is the pro here? Acorn Soft Classic, Defender, Metro, Meteor, Starship Command, Tetrapods, Firebug, Snapper, Acadians, Monsters. I think Defender is a good game on the BBC Micro. And it's beeping away. And there we have it. Up, down, A and Z. Thrust. Fire, okay, it's like this, and space is reverse. So up, down, yeah, that's true. Oh, I'm dead. Okay, so shift is thrust. Go down here. Blast some aliens. Yeah, but this machine works, and it has a super crisp image, of course, because of the HDMI, RGB to HDMI. And the Gotek works. That's awesome. Let's try disk 10. We have more games. Acadians, Galaxians, Hunchback, Rocket Raid, Super Defender, Volcano, Missile Strike, Bouncer. Let's try Galaxians. Galaxians. RMP Hansen, 9082. Instructions, nose hair. Which skill level? Well, let's say 1. Can we? No, we can't. Okay, we can't use the arrow keys. Maybe instructions would have been a good idea. Is there some kind of control scheme here in play? Ah, okay, so copy is shoot. And Z or Z is left and X is right, and I'm dead. I did message with Peter, the seller of the machine, and he said he had it for 5 years, was planning on doing some 6502 assembly programming on it. Never got to it, used it for about 10 hours and then stored it away. So that explains at least why it's in such good condition. And it is in absolutely excellent condition. If you take a look at this, this is just a pristine machine. I would say it's like it came from the shop, except for the keyboard, because the keyboard is really shitty. But maybe it was like that, but I can't. No, this key is good. I did put some silicone grease here, and these keys are just horrible. And you don't sell a machine with this spacebar. Never, never, ever. So something happened to this keyboard, and I have to find out how to reverse it, because it's really not nice to type on it. Yeah, other than that, we do have this thing here. And this is not just a floating point unit, as I thought, but it is a CPU emulator. And you can even emulate a 8286 with this and run DOS on this machine, theoretically. I don't really think you can, because it only has 32K of RAM. But you can emulate an Z80 and all that stuff with this thing, and you can use it. And there's only one game that supports the FPU, and that is Elite. And there's a special version of Elite that supports this coprocessor. And yeah, I have to find it. Maybe it's on this Gotek drive here, and then we can try that out. But for now, I'm pretty happy that the machine runs and works the way it does, that there's so much software on here. And let's just browse through this Gotek drive and let's see what's on here. So we have all the beep disks. Let's see if we can go back here. Yeah, that brings us up. 58 games disk, 8-bit software, 8BS. Okay, not sure what that is. Acorn user cover discs. I assume that is some kind of magazine. Alan Blundell collection. Archimedes. ArcFS images. Games DD. Games HD. Repton. Elite. Lemmings. Oh, I assume this is not for this machine. This is for the Acorn Archimedes, which this is not. This is a BBC. Micro Model B. B-Bug cover discs. Chris Richardson collection. CoPro 32016. So that's, I assume, for the coprocessor board. Demos. Okay, so there's CoPro 32016, CoPro 8286. Interesting. So there's stuff here that you can use with these coprocessors. Yeah, I think this is a wild mix of BBC Micro and Archimedes software. So let's try Elite just like that. Acorn Soft Elite by Ian Bell and David Brabham. Select version. SRAM Elite, Master 128 Elite, 605 second processor Elite. And yeah, that's Elite. Load new commander, yes please. Load new commander, yes please. Commander's name is Horst. Which drive? 0? Not found. That's not good. Okay. We don't have a commander, so yeah. So all the F keys are used in this game, as far as I know. Yes, and I just did something. Oh, I think we just started. Whoever. Let's attach this to the tube port and let's see if we can actually get the version with the coprocessor or the 65022 running. Switch it off. Why is it still running? That's not good. Okay, I switched the machine off, but it doesn't want to switch off. Just not doing it. That's strange. As you can see, switch is clearly in the off position, but it doesn't really care about that. No, still on. It's on and honor. What is this? Okay, let's pull the plug. Light is still on. So this machine works without power. What the? Oh. It's powered over the RGB to HDMI. Does it really need external power? Or did I just kill the machine? Let's check it out again. Okay, still seems to work, which is good. We have an image. Yeah, so this doesn't seem to require external power, or does it? So there seems to be kind of a loop back from the RGB to HDMI into the machine, which keeps the machine running even if you switch it off, which is strange behavior. So this is doing something. Not sure if... there we are. Okay, I see. So let's try this again. Delete in. Okay, so RGB to HDMI works without external power. Good to know. And good that I didn't kill it. Even better. Okay, so now if I switch this off, yeah, now it actually switches off, which is also good. So let's turn this around. Let's plug this in. Pin 1, I hope, is indicated by this little arrow here. At least it's here. So this goes in like so. That should pretty much be it, I guess. Let's turn it around again. That's a lot of ribbon cables here. And then we switch it on and hope that it doesn't explode. And there we are. And it says tube 6502 64K. Okay. So now we are in business. So let's wait. Let's put the disk in. Let's start it up. Not sure why I'm holding the mouse. I won't do anything here. And it actually shows that it has detected a 6502 second processor. So let's do that. Executive version. Ooh, fancy. Oh, it's color. Okay. Yeah, that's different. Bit flickery maybe. Okay, little Star Warsy presentation of power. So how do we start? That's pretty cool that all this just works. So kudos to Retro Clinic for putting out these projects. Both the, no, it's actually 3. You can buy the Gotek from them, you can buy the floppy ROM thingy, and you can buy the processor. The processor board from them. And everything just plugs in and works. It's pretty nice. So how do we start here, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, that looks indeed a bit different. Okay, we can see the map here. And now we can actually move the cursor around. This very strange layout of the cursor. Keys, let's go to reort. How do I get there? It's not return. Inventory, oh, okay. That's how. And cursor keys don't work again. But I can shoot, and it's pretty fast. Oh, okay, I'm rotating. Oh, docking. Docked. Yeah, I'm not good at Elite. You may have guessed that already. I have to look up which keys work and which don't. But if you didn't know, Elite was originally programmed on the BBC Micro, which was quite a feat because it was one of the first, if not the first, 3D game on any 8-bit machine. And it's not just that it has 3D graphics or wireframe graphics. It also has these galaxies and planets, and it's all inside of 32K, which is pretty crazy. So I wanted to know why there was no sound. This machine should make a beep beep when it starts up, and I found out it was just, if we take a look under here, and again I had to remove the keyboard, of course, because everything that you have to service here is under the keyboard. There's the plug, and yeah, it was a bit corroded or something, so it didn't make good contact. It just wiggled it a little, and there's, if it's too loud or too silent, you can turn this little potentiometer here and make it louder or quieter. Yeah, so that works now. I will show you in a second. So let's put that back on for now, and let's hear the beepy. The beep. Yeah, so that works now, which is great. I did research this coProcessor a little, and it's pretty cool. I said before that you can't use anything with a 8286 because there's only 32K of RAM in here, but this comes with RAM. So as you have seen, if you plug this in, you get 64K on this machine, which has 32K otherwise. And yeah, all these processors come with their own memory. There's even one with 4 megs of RAM. Can't recall which one it was. And there's a Z80 in different flavors and the 6502 in different flavors. Problem is, if you leave it plugged in, none of the games except for Elite will actually work. So I will have this unplugged for now, just to use the machine. And if I play Elite or want to experience the coProcessor stuff, then we will go and plug it back in. So the keys are still very sticky, but I did manage to get at least the spacebar a little less sticky, and I did that by just using some of my silicone grease right here and a toothpick. I did just put some in here, so these plastic stamps go in here, and you can see it's still not great. I hold it like this, but if it's lying flat on the table, it's okay, and you have to push from here and it works. Yeah, but that is either bad design or something is missing. I'm not sure. Could be that all these keys have been cleaned inside a dishwasher or something like this, and that it did take off the pieces of plastic and made it rougher on the surface, and that's why these keys are binding. But as you see, if this is flat on the table, it actually works. Still not a great keyboard, but it's now at least usable. So I'm pretty happy with this purchase. Paid about 200 including shipping, and I got a beautiful machine, as you can see here, in really mint condition. Not even these little plastic things here or on the back where the ports are missing or pushed in. I got the Gotek drive, the floppy controller, the coProcessor. That includes 2 Raspberry Pis, which were already provided, plus SD cards, plus USB stick. So I'm very, very happy. And RGB to HDMI, not to forget. And an HDMI cable, pretty good one. Yeah, so I'm super happy with the purchase. I love this machine, and I will experiment a bit, and then I will do a follow-up video, of course, as always. Haha. Yeah, I know I have some follow-up videos missing and some part 2s missing, which I will hopefully catch up soon, because I gave myself the goal to actually finish all my projects, and can't see it too well, but down here are the unfinished projects which I have to come back to, and I will eventually, because that's what I'm going to do next. I want to finish all the projects I have already started filming, and these are 20-25 videos just lying there, and I also have videos which I started, like cleaning up machines, unboxing machines, and then I sold the machine. And I have no way of finishing these, and I don't know what to do with it. So if you have an idea, maybe some kind of rough cut, just cut together all these pieces and throw them on the tube. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have ideas. If you had one of these, I would be very interested to hear your opinions and thoughts about it and your experiences back in the day. And maybe you can tell me what games to check out or what to do with this machine, especially if you have any idea how this coProcessor stuff works. I would be interested to see how to program this, because this is one of the more interesting parts here, that you have an excellent BASIC interpreter, but there are other languages too. And as I said, I want to at least burn one ROM to check how that works. Should be 27C512 ROMs or EPROMs. And you should be able to burn these with the Mini Pro. So that would be interesting. Let's quickly take another look at what this machine has inside, list the ROMs and stuff like that, and yeah, then we will call it a day for now. So let's switch over. Boop beep. So this is the standard machine, and if you type in ROMs, that should list the two ROMs, and you can see there's a file system ROM. I assume that DFS is a file system, and the basic ROM. And the number 12 or 13 is just the position on the ROM thingy. And I think if you type the name of the ROM, it should give you that. Yeah, typing is not great here. Now the W is binding. Yeah, that works. So we are in BASIC. And the cool thing about this BBC BASIC, oh, okay, that just brought me back to the start screen and deleted my program. So don't hit break, it's just not good. The special thing about the BBC BASIC, which is considered the best BASIC dialect in the world, is that you could do inline assembler. So on the C64, if you wanted to do 6502 assembly programming, you needed some kind of assembler. And you had to buy these because there was nothing in the machine to do that. And if you wanted to do assembly programming here, you could just write a basic program, use square brackets. Are these square brackets? I don't know, the angled brackets. And you could put assembly code right into your basic program, which is pretty cool. So you could write a basic program for all the standard stuff like text output and input of stuff. And you could use the assembly part for, say, graphic intensive stuff that needs speed. So yeah, that is one thing I want to explore. As I already showed you, you can use Shift and Break to load the default program on the disk you have inserted. Let me quickly do this again. There's the disk in, and now it actually loads. So I can see what I'm selecting here. So let's just go. I think it's Android Attack, yeah. X and Z. Up, down, return to fire. Okay, so through my capture, this is laggy as hell. It's almost impossible to play. Yeah, so that works. Yeah, I will look further into this and the stuff you can do with this, but I'm pretty impressed that it just works out of the box and that it has this cool coProcessor tube port where you can plug stuff in. And you can plug ROMs in, and so this was commissioned by the BBC. And yes, this was a system before, so Acorn had a machine they wanted to put out. I think it was a Proton, which this is based on. But if I remember correctly, most of these additional stuff, like the tube port, wasn't present on the Proton. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. So someone at the BBC actually decided that in order to make this work and the ROM stuff, they should include this in the machine, and that is pretty cool. So this is a very, very versatile machine. Yeah, and As you can see on games like Elite, those limitations only sparked the imagination of the programmers to make stuff possible. And that's pretty cool. I don't think you can recreate something like this nowadays. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a machine that I think brought many people to computers, or micros as they are called in Great Britain. Yeah, and for that I really tip my hat. So that is pretty cool. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. If you need any PCBs, pre-assembled PCBs or 3D printing, please use the link in the description below. Thank you for watching Retros into Black. If you liked this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in content like this, please subscribe and hit this bell icon. I have no idea if it really makes a difference, but you never know. And yeah, it's an algorithm, so I'm not arguing. However, thank you for watching, and I see you on the other side. Cheerio!